Hello, everybody, and welcome into another Red Wings news and rumors here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, as always, joined in by Jordan Orth. We've got just after the trade deadline getting together, and the Red Wings were a little busy. They weren't the busiest, but they made a couple, actually one really big move, and bringing back a player and trading one away. So they did one thing we've been talking about a lot over the last like 2 months of what they were targeting. And I mean, Jordan, it's the biggest thing is that they got their defenseman finally. Justin Faulk, I believe we did talk about him as being a target when they were when he was available. So I mean, they get him. We'll start with him and talk about him. He's now debuted with the Red Wings. They played in their game yesterday as we're recording. What do you think about that acquisition? I know it's very early to see how well he's fitting in with the team, but just getting him on board.
Yeah, I think it brings a little bit of added stability with that second pairing with him and Sherratt. I mean, they can both play a physical game, and you look at and see how he played in his first game on Sunday night or Sunday after. Yeah, it was Sunday night. I mean, he has no problem doing whatever it takes. I mean, he led the team in block shots. He's out there doing everything he needs to, and it kind of gives you that shelter, I guess if that's the word you want to use, for someone like Sandin Pellikka, so he's not having to play them top 4 minutes quite yet. So I think, and on top of it, you got he's not a rental, so he's got next year too. So it kind of helps make that first and a third and the prospect you give up a little bit easier to say, okay, well, it's a little more worth it because it's not a rental. So who knows? I mean, he could end up being like Sherratt and he signs for another couple of years next year. Who knows? Yeah. But I mean, that everybody's been wanting to get the defenseman. Some people are a little upset about giving up the first or whatever. And Buchnalikov, I struggle saying that name, but I mean, there was a decent price for what you were seeing guys going for too. I mean, the market kind of dictated that's what you're going to have to give up. So overall, I think it's a really good move. And I mean, one game in, like you said, kind of very small sample size, but so far so good in my mind.
I mean, they got rid of Justin Hall in that deal too, which is very surprising to me. I mean, we all know how his time in Detroit didn't go well at all. He's kind of been okay the last couple seasons, but for what he was getting paid and all that, we all know how the first season was horrible. And there was even talk about him being bought out at one point. There was a very big topic of conversation on Grindline many times when we had the show there. So he's out as well in that deal. And Buchnalikov, I mean, I know probably Devin didn't like that they traded him because he's one of their. I know he's one of the Red Wings. He was one of the Red Wings, his favorite prospects. So. We'll see how that all kind of plays out, but that was the price, like you said, of what you're going to have to give up to get a guy like Faulk and a guy with term. And Yzerman stayed true to what he's been kind of going with. Is he's not acquiring someone that's going to be gone in a year or two, or I mean, right away as a rental. And Faulk could be here. I mean, like you say, could be re-signed as well. The other guy they got, who's injured right now, is David Perron, and he's a former Red Wing. He's actually had a couple seasons with the team, and he was pretty good. So they reacquire him. I mean, I don't know that his injury is too bad or anything, but what do you think about getting him back?
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, from the sounds of it, Yzerman said that he should be hopefully back playing in the next couple weeks. So, I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, and the cost he paid for him is it's not a whole lot. I mean, obviously, he's an aging vet, but I think in reality, they got him more for a locker room kind of guy, a guy off the ice, a guy who's, I mean, you got guys like Kane, like Sherratt that are vets on the team too, but he's kind of been through it a little bit more recently with the whole playoff swing and stuff like that. And you hear guys talk about him, like Sider the other day when he was asked about it, had nothing but glowing things to say about him. So you look at it in that aspect, and I mean, if he can help, and I mean, bottom sit, you can play him wherever you want to when he gets in the lineup. So I mean, for the price you paid, it's just not a bad move whatsoever. If he plays, great. If all he is a kind of a locker room guy, that's still beneficial off the ice too. So for the price, not a bad move.
No, I mean he's been relatively productive over the last bit since he's left the Red Wings. He was pretty good for Ottawa there, and I think he's one guy that he's here for the playoffs, and that's the biggest thing. He's a playoff performer. We all know he's been really productive in the past there, and he's been through it. He knows all that, so it's a good guy to have in the locker room for the playoffs and for this push. To be beyond a first round exit. You want to be more, you make the playoffs. You don't want to just get kicked in the first round, but we'll see how well he is. And hopefully this injury isn't too bad. Like you say, a couple weeks and he'll be back for the playoffs well before the playoffs for sure. All right. Well, they didn't just get guys. They did trade a guy away, and Elmer Soderblom, we've also talked about him as being a potential guy that's, kind of running out of real estate, or a leash or whatever you want to call it in Detroit. And, eventually we said, he might be traded. And that's what happened. He gets traded. What do you think? Was it the right decision at this point? I mean, there's so many prospects that are knocking on the door. I think it was just a matter of time.
Yeah, that definitely plays a part in it. Like you said, I think it was just kind of one of those things. It's like he's had the opportunity. He's played 20 plus games in 3 different seasons with the Wings, and he had shown flashes, but he wasn't. I mean, for a 6th round pick, he can't be too upset with how he looked.
No,
but it was just, like you said, one of those situations where you're kind of going to be pushed out one way or the other. Whether he's an RFA next year, so would they have brought him back on another short term deal? Maybe, but if you can turn around and send him somewhere where he might have a better chance in Pittsburgh for a 3rd round pick, I mean, it kind of offsets the 3rd round pick he gave to St. Louis for Faulk too. So yeah. I think it was the right decision because for both him and the team, again, you're giving him a better chance to play.
Yeah.
And you're getting that roster spot, I guess, in a sense, opened up and getting a 3rd round pick for him for a 6th round guy you took in the 6th round. So you can't, the return on that investment worked out pretty well in my mind. So yeah, I think it was the right decision in the end to have him. As much as everybody loves him, 6'8", whatever, 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, obviously a guy you like seeing on the ice, but you want to see him be able to, get a better opportunity, and it just wasn't going to happen in Detroit.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is one of those teams. Dubas seems to be acquiring a lot of these guys that are kind of being pushed out of the organization that they were in before. He's done it with Chinnikov in Columbus, and now Soderblom coming in, and overall, it seems to be working out. Chinnikov has looked pretty good in Pittsburgh as so far, and we'll see if Soderblom can get a better opportunity there, because they do have a lot of spots. And next couple seasons, you're going to have Malkin, Crosby kind of leaving, and not saying he's going to replace them at all, but those spots are going to get open, and you're going to have some opportunity, a lot better than in the prospect pool as well, which is a little different. So yeah, I think he's going to get a better opportunity there to play and develop as well. All right, finally, because they got the defenseman, they didn't get their 2nd line center, which we're talking about many times with Elias Pettersson being a target, Robert Thomas, we talked about him. Yzerman wasn't able to get it done either. The costs were too high or whatever, but is that going to come back and bite them? You do need, it's not like they don't have a guy that's, playing in that 2nd line center spot, but is this something that might come up?
If Larkin is out long-term, yes. If he's able to, whether it's join the team at the tail end of the week on the road trip, or it's just a week or so thing, I think they'll be all right. And like you said, you look at the price tag on players and you hear the rumors about what like St. Louis was potentially wanting in a trade for Thomas. I can see why he didn't want to do something to that magnitude. I get, he's got term, he's young, but we all know how Yzerman is with his picks and his prospects. And I would like to say Thomas would help put them over the edge to another level, which obviously he would to an extent, but right now I don't think you're that one piece away from, giving up the prospects and the picks for Thomas to be like, yeah, we're a cup contender now. We're going. It's Stanley Cup or bust this year. So I think with what you've seen with other teams and the cost, I think he did do enough to, I don't want to say keep fans and the players happy, because you're always going to get both sides of it with the fans, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I think adding Faulk is definitely a big thing. Obviously, like we said, it's something they've been needing to do the last year or two. So I think for what he's got and what he could do, yeah, I think he did do enough this year.
I mean, it was a pretty big trade to get it. I mean, Faulk's a top 4 defenseman, that's for sure. And he's a guy that can put up points as well. And like you said, with the blocking shots and all that too. So he's going to bring a lot of dynamics to the team. And yeah, it would have been, I mean, obviously it would have been nice to get, get a second line center or 1A, whatever you want to call Robert Thomas. I think he's more of a 1A type center. I mean, he could play on the top line for sure. Dylan Larkin, hopefully he's not out for too long. That's a big blow if he is out for a bit. I mean, and obviously it happened after the trade deadline.
Right.
Yeah. You can't really. He was healthy before. But yeah, it's hopefully he's back soon. I mean, that's a big thing if that he's gone for any length of time. So yeah, I agree. I think he probably did enough for what he does. I mean, you don't want to be overpaying for guys and, trading because I mean, what it looked like St. Louis wanted was top prospects, big, I heard a couple first round picks too. It's like, man, there's a reason why they didn't trade him because he wants to give up that. But yeah, I think for the prices, and it seemed like for buyers, it seemed like it wasn't a buyer's market like they were saying. It was a seller's market. Some of the prices that were getting paid for bottom 6 guys, I mean, we didn't see these big deals for top 6 guys. What would have cost? I mean, there's reasons why they wouldn't move. Yeah, we'll see how it all kind of goes. But I think, it's just, this is who you have now, and we'll see if it's enough. All right. Well, that's another trade deadline in the book. Says no more trades. I mean, there could be, but none of the guys can play in the playoffs. That's why no trades happen after the trade deadline, because these guys can't play in the playoffs. Trades can happen. I mean, it have happened for like bottoms, these smaller type deals. I've seen like prospects or, AHL type guys have been moved after the trade deadline, but they're not going to be in the playoffs. So who cares? But yeah, we'll see what it all plays out if these guys make a difference in the playoffs or for what they're required for. But yeah, and next thing is the playoffs, and we'll hopefully, not hopefully, they will make the playoffs. You'd hope that nothing just go drastically. They'd have to really be in a bad spot for the next 20 or so games left in the season. So I think we can probably say they're in the playoffs, but we'll have to wait until they're completely there. But make sure to check out everything at thehockeywriters.com. We got great articles throughout the site on trade deadline and all that stuff. And then we're going to shift towards the draft very soon. I believe it'll be this week. So keep an eye out there. We're going to have prospect profiles running out there. Red Wings fans, you probably don't care too much about it yet. But the draft is coming, and we'll be talking about that. And even though I don't think the Red Wings now have a first-round pick in this year's draft, but they do have picks later on, and we'll all be excited for the draft coming up. So check that out, and all of our stuff on the Substack and our other videos on the YouTube channel. But until our next video, we will see you next time.